I'm here with McKenna Fisher. She is the Animal Advocate on social media. She has a passion for sharing the truth about animal agriculture and advocating for our industry. And she is here to talk more about her passion and her projects. McKenna, welcome.
Hi, happy to be here.
So, tell us a little bit about your background in agriculture and where your love for the industry comes from.
Yeah, well, I am a fifth generation beef cattle rancher. I go to school up in Chadron, but during the summers I live on my family's ranch up in Hershey. At Chadron, I am actually majoring in legal studies and rangeland management. So, to kind of promote my interest in agriculture, kind of develop my knowledge. And yeah, I've just always been around this lifestyle. I've been rodeoing since I was little, 4 H, FFA, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Well, at what point did you decide that you wanted to take a hands-on role in educating the public about agriculture? And what led you to start your social media pages?
Yeah, so actually last summer I had a lot of free time, which is unusual living on a ranch, as I'm sure anybody knows. But I would be just spending some time on Facebook, TikTok, just looking through there. And I noticed that all of the agricultural stuff that I saw was kind of not really from people in the industry, just people outside of it that were really uneducated about what we do and had an opposition to this way of life just because they didn't know any better. And just seeing so much misinformation out there and lack of people like me sharing our stories, that's kind of what motivated me to start the Animal Advocate. I wanted people to be able to see that first person perspective of what we do in this industry because we're busy people. We have a lot going on in our lives, and most of us don't take the time to advocate for ourselves online. So that's kind of my passion project is just getting our point of view out there to counter all that misinformation that exists.
Absolutely. There's certainly a lot of misinformation on multiple facets of agriculture, but specifically on the animal agriculture side. Why is it important that animal agriculturalists tell their story?
Because animal agriculture is ultimately what sustains all of us. All agriculture is important and it's the backbone of our society. And if people don't understand the importance of it, they won't support it. And if they don't support it, we can't support them. But we have to have that personal aspect. We have to be sharing our stories. They need to know that we are real people out there working hard to keep everybody fed, clothed, housed, all of those necessary things. And if they don't understand that there's real people working every day in this industry, why would they care about it or support us in any way?
Absolutely. Well, what has been the biggest thing that you have learned over the past year sharing your story on social media?
The biggest thing that I've learned is that most of the opposition towards our industry just comes from lack of information. It's so much easier if you, let's say, if you Google, I don't know, pig farming in America, the first five sources you'll see are from like PETA, HSUS, like all of these animal rights organizations putting their point of view out there, which is often incorrect. And there's just so little accurate information from our point of view. And so, if you don't know anything about the industry, even if you're not biased, if you're going to Google, all you're seeing is those biased sources, nothing factual. So, without having our point of view out there, these people just don't know any better. And they assume that what we're doing is wrong just because our story is not there for them to see.
Most definitely. Well, a big misconception from the public about animal rights in particular is just the distinction between what animal rights is and then what animal welfare is, which is, of course, what we subscribe
Exactly.
to in agriculture. Can you explain the key differences between those two ideologies?
Yeah, absolutely. Animal welfare is the foundation of animal agriculture. It's ensuring that these animals are happy, healthy, and well cared for throughout their lives. Animal rights, on the other hand, is about humanizing these animals and assuming that their wants and needs are the same as people. It's assuming that they function the same way, think the same way, feel the same way we do, and treating them like they're people rather than the animals that they are. And ultimately, rights is worse for the animal welfare than actual welfare is because we're not taking into account what these animals need. We're thinking about what we would want if we were in their place.
Most definitely. Very well said. So sharing your story online can be kind of intimidating because the internet, as we know, is the wild, wild west.
Oh, yeah.
What is some of the feedback that you've gotten from posting online, or what surprised you about sharing this sort of content?
Well, I've certainly received my share of hate online, which is nothing new. All of the other people doing what I do that I follow, they've all had the same encounters. But the more you post, the more you find that there are like minded individuals out there. And it was just shocking to see how many people have had the same struggles that I have, had the same experiences that I have, and they just had no way to share it because they don't have the technological capabilities to do so. So it's really comforting to know that I can kind of be the voice for the people like me that can't always spend time posting like this. And just the overwhelming amount of support I receive from those people is something that I certainly didn't expect, but it's been a true blessing.
Definitely. Well, we'll direct people on where they can find you on social media in a moment. But if you had to describe the type of content that you post, what kind of things are you posting online?
It's primarily infographics about the industry and fun facts. I do a lot of interviews with industry professionals. I interviewed the Star Cattle Company a while back, Amanda Radke, Nathan Morris of Morris Equine, just people like that sharing their stories about their aspects of the industry. So there's a lot of that factual information. I do Fun Fact Fridays. I address Myths of the Month, where I find common misinformation that's circling and I shut it down to the best of my ability. And those seem to be pretty popular. I found those shared on quite a few other sites. So just kind of getting the facts out there is what I specialize in.
Absolutely. Well, it's clear you are passionate about agriculture, but you are also a full time college student. Elaborate on your studies and what your long term goals are.
Yeah, so as I said before, I'm majoring in legal studies and rangeland management. And as of right now, I'm in the Rural Law Opportunities program at Chadron, which guarantees me preliminary admission to UNL's law school once I finish my undergraduate degree. So, my current goal for the future is to be able to get my law degree and practice agricultural law. I'd like to focus in generational transitioning and kind of estate planning to help facilitate that transition between our older agricultural community and the new generation coming up. So being able to do that is a goal of mine and keep advocating for the people involved for sure.
Very cool. Well, give people the information. How can they follow along with what you're doing and the stories that you're telling?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. All of those would be under the Animal AGvocate, and that's AGvocate. I thought that was a little play on words that I could utilize, and the handles are a little bit different for each one, but if you look that up, you'll find me right there. Its logo is a bright green longhorn steer with a couple pitchforks on either side, so it's pretty distinct.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, once again, that is McKenna Fisher, otherwise known as the Animal Advocate on social media. McKenna, thank you for the work that you're doing and for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a passion of mine to do this.